Hi everybody. Oh, just a minute. Gosh, I can never get the light quite right. As in, I'm really sensitive to light. I hate electric light of all kinds, so I generally just burn candles and stuff, but daylight in the winter can be very intrusive. So, and anyway, hi guys, how are you all doing? Feeling like absolute shit, yeah? It's really maddening, it's crazy making, it's fucking like insane how you get to a point where you can't express yourself anymore because you cannot think of any words, and the words that we do have are the language is very limited, it's very laden, it's very infiltrated, it's hijacked, it's fucked up, it's bullshit, it's garbage, it's nonsense, it's gaslighting nonsense. I always know that if I'm really going through it, that I'm not on my own. I always know that it's going to be affecting the other soul travelers out there in the field, so-called. And I'm sat here doing this video, but I'm not 100% sure that I'm supposed to. I don't mean supposed to as in something higher tells me not to or tells me to. It's not like that. But over the last kind of few months, I've only really sat down and done a video when I feel very strongly and completely that it's right. And I'm not sure if I feel that, so I'm just going to do my best. And I guess if I post this and you're watching this, then, you know, so that's it. But the last 4 days have been just hell on fucking steroids. Wow. But in my last video I did talk about the fact that I was showing that I'm going into the self-hate aspect, which, you know, you visit and revisit your darkness layer after layer up the spiral path. And I did say, I've said this because I've felt this many times, that when you get to the bottom of the barrel, it gets very, very dark. Or it gets darkest before the dawn. And you can argue, yeah, gaslighting. Because how they can keep saying that to you, you know, oh, it gets darkest before the dawn, it gets darkest before the dawn, but, you know, and it gets darker and darker and darker and darker, and dawn never arrives. I know the overwhelming tendency within us to align ourselves with the darkness, with the dark side, to align ourselves with the belief that we're fucked, we're screwed, evil always wins, there's nothing you can do, to hate your life, to hate yourself, to hate what you've become or what you've never become, to feel totally destroyed and totally broken and totally wounded, to know what you don't want but not to know what you do want, and when you do know what you do want, to immediately have that energy swooping in saying, well, you can't have that anyway, there. We're so used to living in the trauma, in hell, in the darkness, in the distortion, being tortured every day, right? I mean, so many of us have so many health problems where we can't do what we want to do. We cannot live the life that we want to live because we're prevented, you know, because it attacks us. You know, if you look at your average NPC, they're always happy, you know, they're not sick. they're always thriving, or so it seems. Of course, they're not really thriving, and don't bother getting angry about it or fueling that, because they're nothing. They don't have a soul. So I'm not jealous of them anymore, because I don't really, there's nothing there to be jealous of, you know. It's just there to taunt us, yeah? We're so used to negativity, fear, we're so used to living, we're literally possessed and we're spellbound. And that is all we've known. We've known that for, you know, however old you are, whether you're in your teens or in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s or whatever, you remember this life in patches, because it's been so traumatic that it's all fucking, it's like all over the place. You know, you might remember a bit here, a bit there, a bit there, a bit there, but you don't remember all of it sequentially, no. When you begin to disentangle, slowly the fog begins to clear. Yeah, it's not like, oh, the fog begins to clear, then it's gone, and then ta-da, you've arrived. It isn't like that at all. It's by degrees, and it requires solid commitment again and again and again through unimaginable torture, torment and darkness, right? Ergo, my last video was called Shining Your Light in Hell. Hell is a state of consciousness. Hell, you look at this world now, it is just one giant torture chamber. Oh my fucking god, I've never known anything like it. It's designed now, it's on steroids, to keep triggering you back into the self-hate. That is the ultimate gambit here, because it's desperate, it's frantic as fuck, it's panicking, I know it is. And we're used to living in hell, we're used to living in the self-hate. It's better to expect the worst, that way you won't be disappointed. Oh, I better think about, oh, this might happen, that might happen, what am I going to do if that happens, what am I going to do if that happens? You know, you're drowning, you feel like you're drowning in problems. And just when you think you can't take any more, another problem is added to the mix, and then another problem is added to the mix, and another problem, and it's like the hatred and the rage that you feel, which is so futile because the demonic energy is doing this to you. You can't touch them. You can't touch them. They're beyond your reach, right? And so you're so aligned with this victimhood and this inner hell, this inner torment, writhing in agony, writhing in, I know all about it, right? And then you get to a point where you begin to realize something pivotal to it all. You realize that you're actually doing this to your own detriment, and that is exactly what evil wants. That is how it has you by the fucking balls, or by the throat, or however you want to put it. That you can gradually, bit by bit, take back your power and stop acquiescing with that state. You can. It's a choice. And this is where free will comes in. You get to that point where you have enough free will that you have slowly but surely taken back from evil. You've taken back your free will bit by bit by bit, doing the inner work. And you've arrived at that point where you can use that free will, which has allowed you consequently also to see and understand the dynamic of what this is, how this works. So you can see, you can understand, and you know that you can take back your free will and stop acquiescing with this state of torture that you exist in. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but it is a choice. You can either think of yourself as a powerless victim that's being tortured to death day after day after day, and be consumed with rage and hate and fear, and be against yourself, because that is what happens when you have an invisible enemy tormenting the fuck out of you and you have no recourse, right? So you're with your back against the wall and evil always wins and there's nothing you can do and you're so worthless and you're so powerless and you don't even deserve to exist at all, right? That is what creates the self-hate, right? Because you hate yourself for being powerless, you hate yourself for not being able to fight back, for not being able to stop this demonic energy torturing you, right? You can't stop these fuckers doing this to you. You feel totally powerless. So you're writhing in agony and hate and rage and insanity. And remember how in my last video I talk about the cesspit. This shit has been happening our entire life anyway, but we were not in awareness, right? So it just gets put into the subconscious, into the cesspit. But when you begin to awaken, as in go within, that comes up. And for those of us who've been doing that for a while now, it's right here. It's like, wow, the cesspit. We're scraping the bottom of it. I really do feel that because I've been getting a lot of solid synchro and maverick effect stuff that pans out for me, you know. I'm not... I don't do blind faith, by the way, guys, you know, but I'm so used to hearing, you know, the haters, you have them everywhere, these people that will, regardless, always align themselves with powerlessness, victimhood and self-hate, and they're going to live there, presumably, in hell. I don't know, that's just not my responsibility. I know that your mind, your consciousness, your mind, such as it is here in this hell realm, is a maze. It's a maze that you have to find your way out of. You have a choice. Either you find your way out of the maze, or you choose to stay in it, allowing it to keep you trapped. But ultimately, you and I have the power to go home, to get out of the maze, to create the light reset. It's not really going anywhere. It's literally birthing a new consciousness, a true consciousness, a free consciousness that creates a new world. Whoosh. Bit by bit, however. See, the reason that people, myself included, have so much trouble trusting ourselves, trusting the divine. And by the way, when you hear this bullshit about, oh, well, you're connected to the divine, I'm like, motherfucker, we are the divine, all right? It isn't like, oh, the divine is up there somewhere and you're connected to the divine and you're down here and, oh, please, divine, please come and save us. No, you are the divine. The reason that we have so many issues trusting is because the nature of evil is deception. It's deception, yeah? And what we exist in here is like separation consciousness. We're separated from the truth. We're separated from the light. We're separated from ourselves. You're given to believe that the light is hierarchical, that the light is above you. It's this force that exists external to you, away from you, above you often enough. It's very patronizing, very condescending, and it keeps you in a permanent state of dependency, right? That's the whole false light paradigm. You know, the New Age is full of it. It's always keeping you subjected to, you're a subject, subjected to, and you're always in a state of dependency. That which you need comes from external, from something else, from somewhere else. But the truth is, see, so they talk about, oh, the spiritual world versus the physical world, which is bullshit. Everything is spiritual. Everything is electromagnetic, for lack of a better word, right? It's an illusion. The whole thing is an illusion. And of course the whole hierarchy of light, of that which is supposed to look after you, take care of you, because you're dependent, you need, you're small, you're weak. That which does that is a deception energy. It's a demonic energy. It's a parasite. It keeps you weak. You look at, it's like the sort of whole Galactic Federation of Light, or you know, the people from the Pleiades, or the whole Q thing is another one. I mean, the psyops are just, woo, they're everywhere, you know. Anything and everything that keeps you in a state of dependency is false light. Government, you know, it's like I've noticed a lot of newbies wake up. Normies, you know, that they're just beginning to wake up to the fact that, oh, maybe we shouldn't have trusted the government, you know. The people that we've elected to look after us. And I'm here thinking, why would you need to elect anybody to look after you? Like, if you want a clear example of what the consciousness parasite manifests on the external plane, then you look at government. You look into things like Operation Cauldron, where they literally treat us like lab rats, okay? You know, hey, let's give them syphilis and see how that works out, and let's irradiate all these children and see how that works out, and let's give them thalidomide and see how that works out, and why not state inject the entire human population, and you know, and it has nothing to do with money, no, it's everything to do with loosh. Loosh, a feeding frenzy. But how it is now, it's like a tiny drop of blood and 100 sharks in a feeding frenzy, ripping each other to shreds. I told you, I said in my last video, I spoke about everything that you use as a crutch will be taken away, and you will sit there and you'll feel really, really bad, and you'll feel really, really sorry for yourself. And because all that dependency is taken away, all these crutches are taken away, that which needs to be healed and transmuted and alchemized within you will rise up. It will rise up because it's no longer being kept down. You can't carry on evading it, yeah? Because that which you used to evade it, to suppress it, to ignore it, has been taken away. Evil uses your self-hate against you. It wants you to keep hating yourself, and it is the biggest, most courageous step to be in full awareness of that, and to stop engaging with that. You will still get those thoughts. The evil will attack you into your mind. You know, it is a mind parasite, so you hear its voice and you'll think it's your own thoughts. They're not your own thoughts. Telling you horrible, nasty things like, oh, this is going to happen, we're going to do that to you, and that's going to happen, and ooh, fear, which engenders self-attack, right? Perverse thinking, perverse behaving, perverse feeling against self. but there is the sort of the witness aspect of you. You can stand back and say, I choose of my own free will not to engage with that anymore. You can do that. It is your choice. The miasma, the multi-spectrum gaslighting and psyopy soup that we exist in, that literally is like a maze within a maze within a maze inside your consciousness, right? Just a minute, guys. I've had really dry lips. I've had so much going on mentally, emotionally, physically. I suppose people think that because I'm sat here doing a video that I must be feeling alright, but I don't actually. It's been gut-wrenchingly dreadful, absolutely horrifying, truly. But I also have this insight, this clarity as to who I am, what I am, and what my purpose is, what I'm supposed to do, what I am doing rather. And we get back to the whole, the menu is not the meal and the map is not the territory thing again. Because when you get these people, it's all words, and they're describing the menu. But when you're eating the meal, it's a very different fucking thing. And you will learn this in this journey, that the external is a fucking hall of mirrors. The language used is a fucking hall of mirrors. It's deceptive. It isn't what it appears to be. And you will learn to read between the lines. This is very fucking important, right? Ergo, my video called Spirit Eyes, to see, to hear. You get it, you know that only you can liberate yourself from this slavery, right? Nobody can set you free. It is your choice, and you can feel sorry for yourself, and you can choose to keep aligning yourself with what you don't want, and with how badly you've been treated, and how evil can't be defeated, and love and light is just another facet of evil pretending. See, because this is what it's done to us. It is fucked us up in such a way that we mistrust that which is good and pure and true, including ourselves. Yeah? That's a really tricky thing when you do not trust yourself, when you do not trust that there is actually power in the light, that there is power in love, and that love and light are just words, that the experience of it is very, very different. It isn't delusional. You know, that which is powerful supports truth, it supports seeing, it supports, self-liberation and self-determinism and self-activation. The light shows you out of dependency and into self-power. That is how you know it's the light. If it keeps you in a state of neediness, dependency, waiting, hoping, but hating yourself, and somebody needs to come and save me, then it's bullshit. The only way you know that you can trust something like that you come across on the external that speaks to you is by asking, does this show me back to my full power, my full sovereignty, my full magic? Or does it encourage a continuance of a state of dependency, weakness, spineless bullshit? Yeah, that's it. I know that we've been through fucking hell. Like, that is such an understatement. I know this. And I know that a lot of you are really, really going through it now. I can feel it. I'm really going through it. It's like just when you think you can't take any more. Oh, here's another issue on top of all your other issues. You feel, you know, like a great big black hand is coming out of the sky to crush the fucking life out of you, so that to just eviscerate you, to rip you apart. And the tinnitus, the weird, you know, like that sound like a fax machine, like the, oh man, it's everywhere now. You know, I know. The fear. Oh my god, the rabid fucking fear. The fear. Unbelievable, right? But here's the thing. Then you go out. I went out really early yesterday. I left the house at 5:30 in the morning because it was a full moon. And I barely had any sleep because I'm in bed and there's this fax machine shit going on, and there's just like hot flush after hot flush after hot flush, and just torture, man. Fuck. And yet at the same time I managed to hold my center, to hold my light, to know that this is not the truth and this will not win, because I choose what wins, and I believe in the light. That is, I am the light, I am the divine. Because it's all been a lie, it's been a delusion, a very convincing one that we have lived. So anyway, I went, and I was in the middle of nowhere, insofar as you can get in the middle of nowhere in this fucking country. And it was stunning, and it was beautiful, and it was very moving, and I felt gratitude. And I felt love and goodness, and it was healing. But you get these people that are like, that's all bullshit, that's all an illusion. Yeah, you know, people that just align themselves with evil. And I understand that to an extent. I really fucking do, because of what we've been through. But it shows a lack of courage and a lack of focus. You will find, of course, a lot of these types of people are not actually sold. They're NPCs, and they're there to trigger you and block you and hook you back into the old paradigm, right? Because we are on the brink here, guys. If you feel like absolute shit, you can bet your fucking ass that you're on the brink. Yeah? Not of annihilation, but of explosion into light. I know it feels that way. It's like, oh, we're never going to get anywhere. It's just never going to happen. Because, you know, the light reset has to come from within. And I just cannot seem to make it to the other side, into the light. I keep back in this mental torture, you know. But what you've got to really pay close attention to, ask yourself, where was I 2 weeks ago? Where was I 6 months ago? Where was I a year ago? And you will see that your awareness, your understanding, your innate understanding and knowing of the mystical nature of this experience, you know, it's insane, because evil is so fucking full of shit. It's still there saying, oh, this is all there is, this is all there is. But then at the same time it comes at me and it says, oh, you wouldn't be able to handle your magic, you wouldn't be able to handle the light reset or miraculousness or anything, you wouldn't know what to do with it. Do you see? It lies. You will catch it out when you pay attention. And this is my point. If you are allowing yourself to slide back into the fog, right? Oh, I'm just going to go limp, and I'm just going to go in the fog, and I'm just going to give up, and I'm just going to believe the worst, and I'm just going to, everything is shit, and drown. Allow myself to just drown in that. Yeah, might as well. Sorry. If you do that, no. You see, it's your choice. You have to be aware of that. Awareness is everything. Observe. Pay attention, listen, see, know. You can hear. It's like you know which thoughts are yours. You know which thoughts are not yours. You know they come into you. It's like a hack. Yes, it's very difficult. It's like a maze within a maze. All these intrusive thoughts, all the chaos in our heads, because all this trauma is coming up. Compacted trauma is coming up now, right? So the distortion is wow. So you need to be really, really focused, like a really sharp knife, to get your way out of it. And to choose to love yourself, to say, no, I will not sit here and think, oh, well, what if this happens? How will I cope with that? And what if that happens? And you know, and the whole mindset of powerless victimhood, the whole mindset of defeat and fatality and fatalism and nihilism and destruction and defeat, hopelessness, despair. That is self-hate. You have a choice. And I am not saying that when you choose to stay in your center, in your light, that you're not going to feel any of that stuff, because you will. You're going to feel it. It's going to come at you, right? And yet you can remain in your center. You can remain knowing that I love myself. I am a fucking being of light. Evil has not been able to destroy me, right? Yes, you've been through a lot. You have been through a fucking lot, a lot. You are going through a fucking lot. You're suffering. I am suffering. You are not alone. And that's difficult. What do you do with that? How do you hold that? What do you do with that, right? Well, that must mean that evil always wins then, right? But if evil always wins, and it could torture you to death again and again and again, right? It could really go to town. It would, man. But miraculous stuff has happened. Meaningful stuff has happened. You, by degrees, have come back to yourself, to your true self-power. I could call it sovereignty, but I don't really like that word. I call it self-power. You're coming out of a state of eternal dependency, spineless living, being, oh, I need something. Everything you've used as a crutch has been taken away. Good. It hurts. Healing hurts. Coming home to yourself fucking hurts. You have to walk through all the garbage and all the trauma. You have to go into the cesspits. Right? Clear it. Really clear it. I think it amazes me that there are still people out there who think that waking the fuck up from this nightmare is going to be good and fun. Oh, things that just keep getting better and better. You know? Oh, these fucking trolley dollies, whatever. Sorry, I mean, oh, my subscriber, Trolley Forest. I love that moniker, that's really cool. So I wasn't referring to you. You know, when I say trolley dollies, I mean your NPC. And for anybody under the mistaken impression, I did my last video when I talked about the joggers. I was talking about NPCs. I'm not saying exercise is a bad thing. In fact, I strongly advocate for going into nature, go hiking, go mountain climbing, do whatever it is that takes your fancy, get out there. I'm not one of these, you know, like, what the fuck? Not at all. I believe in going into nature. I believe in breathing deeply in, you know, and do that. Very important. I'm not a defeatist type of individual, you know, I'm a warrior, I'm a fighter, but I fight the good fight and I fight with fucking love. I don't give in to the dark side, you know. It's been a really long journey, it's been a really fucking difficult fucking journey. I've learned a hell of a lot along the way. It's a very shamanic fucking journey, alright? You learn, you are initiated, often enough in the forge, in the fire, through intense, dreadful fucking suffering. And you have two fucking choices. You can either think of yourself as a victim, or you can think of yourself as an initiate. the high priestess in the cave, right? If you believe that it's all a sick evil game, that you're never going to get anywhere, and you allow that hatred to consume you, then that is it. You will be lost. That is what you will create. Because believe me when I say that you have the power, you always did. You just were manipulated into thinking you don't. But what the fuck do you think creates all this shit? Do you think this is something that's just happening to you and you're just a witless victim, a hapless victim, trapped forever in hell? Poor you, poor you. I have no time for that. I made short thrift of it within myself because that comes up with me all the time. Oh, that's how it is. Yeah, right, okay. I don't, you know. I go into the part of me that thinks that and feels that with compassion and love and empathy. I sit with it, I heal with it. I say, tell me all about it. And when you're ready to get real with yourself and allow your shadow to speak to you, it will say, well, I'm really terrified because when I was a baby, I wasn't loved. I was left alone in a dark room for hours in a dirty nappy. So I feel worthless and I feel like I can't trust the divine. I feel like I can't trust the Great Mother. I feel that I can't trust the light. There is no light. There is only darkness. There is only forever and ever and ever that dark room and me as an 8-month-old baby in a dirty nappy in a darkened room forever. Trauma-based mind control, guys. Love tells you that you can choose, that you must choose. You might be able to live your life all the way up to a particular point by not choosing. Yeah. But then, boom! You will have to choose because, you know, and it's either destruction or rebirth. You've been had in every imaginable way. You've been made to totally not just mistrust, but actually hate the light. And that is another reason why you hate yourself, because you are the light, you are the divine. You're not separated from the Great Mother. It's not like religion. Religion is false lies, a false paradigm. A lot of the New Age is also false light and false paradigm, though there are interspersed throughout it truths that are very helpful, right? It's not like, oh, it's evil's over there and light's over there. I've said this many times before. It's all intermixed, and so you have to learn to navigate. This feels right. I know this. I recognize this. Yes, this inspires me. This uplifts me. I'm remembering. Yes, this will support my wholeness, right? My interdependence, right? Perpetual motion, belonging, selfhood, self-power, truth. That you can create the light reset, that this is not how it has to be. You have the power. We have the power. And to that end, we are feeling the way we do because the self-hate has to be healed. It has to be transmuted. It has to be alchemized. Make no mistake, the suffering that you feel, the agony, is directly related to the self-hate. Because if you were in your power, in your self-love, that would not affect you. These incoming missiles of, oh, you're defeated, you're fucked, you're going to be annihilated, we're going to destroy you. No. You would laugh at that. You wouldn't believe it anymore. The reason that we believe it is what gives it the power over us. And the reason that we believe it and the reason that it has power over us is because of the trauma-based mind control. And I know it's difficult because you think, well, why the fuck would any soul choose to have this experience? I mean, I ask myself that. I was like, why the fuck would I choose to have this fucking experience? Right? And yeah, I don't always have the answers. I'm not here to give you all the answers. Fucking work it out for yourself. I'm busy looking into that. There are days where I see and understand, and yes, I get it now, I see it now when it's being distilled, I get it, yes. But there's other days where I'm not feeling great, where I'm filled with hate and rage, and I feel like a powerless victim, and this is all being done to me. Oh, and it's like straight down into hell. Straight down into hell. And it takes me ages sometimes to climb out of it again. You know, I don't belong in hell. No, I'm a being of light. I belong in heaven. But heaven is for me now to create. It's all about responsibility, and a lot of people don't like that word. They don't like that word, but it's the word that we need to embrace right now. Responsibility. It is our responsibility. This experience and what I do with it and what I create is my responsibility, nobody else's. And what I'm really aware of now is like, oh, I'm looking for I need some support, I need some validation. Like yesterday, after my walk, I felt so bereft. I felt like I just need love, I need safety, I need safety, I need safety, I need comfort, I need something, please give me that, give me what I need. And it was like, Anika, honey, stop. What are you doing? What is it you need? I need love, I need comfort, I need safety. You know? And it was like, only you can give that to you. Do you not understand, my darling? How do you go about giving that to yourself? And then the other voice coming in, oh, love is powerless. You can't give that to yourself. There's nothing you can do. But actually, so used to thinking, oh, what if this happens, what if that happens, we're never safe, we're all fucked. Well, what about if we end up being able to think about all this wonderful shit happening? What if something really incredible happens? What if that happens? Wow, what about this incredible thing? What about that? What about the joy? What about the fulfillment? What about the power and the light and the incredibleness? What about that? Evil has fixed us, you know. It's taken our perception, our mind, our perception, and traumatized the fuck out of it and fixed it into the darkness. Fear. Oh, I have to survive. I need something. It's agonizing, I know it is. And it's very, very difficult to come out of that and realize that that is a state of being that everybody on the external plane is in. They would staunchly deny it. They would say, no, it's not true. I'm really happy. Life is great. But it's like their noses are great. You know, it's like, fuck. But you know, and that will trigger you. That will trigger you. Because that will invalidate your experience. It's like, what the fuck? You know, it invalidates your experience. It hurts like hell. It's like salt in your fucking wound, man. You know? And you have to let it go. You can let it go. Because again, serve yourself, right? Look after yourself. What serves me? Ask yourself that fucking question. Is this good for me? Is this helping me? Or is this harming me? Why am I watching this video? It's making me feel like, lad, I need to get the fuck away from this. Why am I listening to this person? No. And you don't need to hate them, because that will only feed the fucking matrix. Stop feeding the fucking matrix. It wants your hate, it wants your fear, it wants your hopelessness and your despair. It wants all of that. That is what it wants, and you're feeding it. It's a fucking ravenous beast now. It's fucking panicky as fuck. If you want to shut this shit down, you learn to love. Learn to love despite all the odds. Despite all the odds. You love. You choose love. You center yourself. You say, but I can choose to love myself. It's telling me I should worry and agonize over perceived impending catastrophics. Right? No, I'm not going to do that. You know, it's a difficult thing, but you can learn to do this. You can learn to do this. You can forge this from the experience, elicit it out, you know. You can keep letting it go, keep letting it go, keep letting it go, keep letting it go. You're there, and it's like being in a fucking surround sound cinema, and all this shit. You know, you realize how hacked, how totally hacked your mind is. Wow, but you can watch it like you're in a cinema. You can watch it, you can see what is going on, and you can see what belongs to you and what does not belong to you. You can see that it's a maze within a maze. But you can find your way through with focus, with dedication, with commitment to you, commitment to the power and the divinity that is you. You are not a dependent, subjected little creature that exists to suffer, to feed the machine. You are a radiant, powerful being of light. That is what you are. But you have to take it back. You have to rebirth that, as it were. It's never gone away, but it and you've had this experience, and you can keep listening to the dark side, which will tell you, well, why the fuck would you ever have chosen to have this experience? Or look at this, or look at that, or the light is just pretending. There is no light really, you know, it's just evil pretending to be the light, because look at this, and look at that, and look what happened to you there, and look what happened to you there. Well, my litmus test is this: does it show me back to myself? Yes, it does. Then it's the light. It comes from within me, right? That's it. And I'm not talking about, you know, these NDEs. And this whole NDE thing, by the way, guys, you know, there's a shitload of fucking NPC NDEs. You know, the NPC NDE. They're all there with these weird glowy eyes, or, you know, like their eyes are like, what was it, that guy? Can't remember his name now, but his eyes were like watching a television screen, like Poltergeist, and I was like, oh, you're so fucking fake. And it's always the same, oh, I met God, or I meet Jesus, or some fucking bullshit, and it's garbage, because it's always about keeping you dependent. It fosters weakness, dependency. Oh, and I went back to church. Well, good luck for you, you know, worshipping Beelzebub with the rest of the fucking NPCs, and every Sunday, hail Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies, you know, whatever. Keep us on our knees forever and ever and ever. It's fucking bullshit. There are a tiny percent. There used to be a really good documentary, and it was called Commonalities of the Experience. Can I find it anywhere? On the internet? Can I fuck? Of course not, because all the half decent and interesting NDE documentaries and NDE accounts have been eradicated because they don't want us listening to that. I'm not saying that the near-death experience is what it purports to be. I don't take it at face value. I always read between the lines. I look at the symbols. I wait, and my soul extracts information from it that serves my self-power, my return to self-power, all right? I don't believe in hierarchies or power or angels telling me what I can and cannot have, and what I can and cannot do, and what I am not and what I should be. None of that at all. That is fucking false light. That's evil. But there are a few NDEs that I've heard that were very inspiring to me, that brought people back to their self-power, and they inspired me, and they were in that commonalities of the experience, and that's gone, it's gone. But instead you have these NDEs that it's like, oh, this is so fake, this is so fake. This is a channel on YouTube, and it's just one fake NDE after the other, and they all have these weird oily eyes or poltergeist eyes, and it's like, whoa, you're so full of shit, you know. So I saw 2 or 3 of them. I was like, yeah, I know what that is, thanks, goodbye. There are so many distractions, right? Be aware of this. When you get distracted by so many different lures, I call them lures because they're trying to lure you away from your objective. You've got to look at this, guys. This is the way I do anyway, like an SAS mission, you know? That's the way I see it. And I'm very much like that anyway. I'm wired that way. It's like when something needs to be done, it is of the utmost importance and it has to be done. Even if I feel like absolute shit, I'm like, all right, this needs to be done, and I get fucking on with it. And I'm like, right. I'm wired that way. Maybe it's because my moon is in Aries, which, you know, astrology is another thing I'll get to in a second, actually, because I think it's important to talk about that. Focus and think of it as an SAS mission, you know, as in special forces, right? You're here on a mission. The mission is to come back home to yourself, your self-power. You've been taught your whole life that you have no power and that you're a powerless victim and you're back against the wall. Now you're forging back your self-power. You're coming back to yourself, and you focus, because there's so many distractions. Oh, it's over here, it's over there. You must think, you must get upset about that. You must leave a comment there. You must right? No. It's like Neo, you know, when he finally begins to really get to grips with his powers, and he's literally like that, you know, and all the Agent Smiths come at him, you know, like boom, 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 and he's like, no. You get better at it and better at it and better at it. Practice makes perfect, right? And yes, astrology, because you see, that's another tool of dependency in a way, in many ways, because there's always going to be more T-squares, and there's always going to be more oppositions. There's always going to be another Mercury retrograde and a Mars retrograde and a Venus retrograde and this and that and who and are. And for the longest time you're guided by it, you're inspired by it. You think, yeah, that's interesting, and you know, it's good, it's this, it's that, it's who, it's are. And then it's like, okay, you begin to realize, you know, never mind also the fact that, hey, the planets, I firmly believe in a flat earth or something like that. Yeah? So nothing on the external plane is what it appears to be. So do not get entrenched with anything. Do not allow yourself to be distracted by anything. And forgive yourself when you do. And bring yourself back to your heart, your center, your power. Know your power and use it. Use your power. You have it in order to use it. All right? Defeat is not an option. I think I'll call it a day there, actually. I guess I'll post this video. YouTube has been unkind to me. See, this is what I mean. It wants to, it just likes to pull the rug from beneath me, so it won't let people leave comments. It's messing with my subscriber levels. It's messing with my viewing figures. I mean, in every imaginable way, it's messing with me. But I stay on YouTube because all the other platforms are fucking shit. They really are, and I don't like any of them. I've got my channel on Odyssey, but Odyssey is shit. It's really, really shit now. It's absolutely shit. Rumble's okay, but nah. I'm good where I am, you know. And when something triggers me now, including you, YouTube, I will utilize it and say, right, what's being triggered? What am I feeling? What am I really, really feeling here? Why am I feeling this? And I sit with it and I transmute it, and onwards we go, and that's it. So yeah, so if you're really going through it, know that you have a choice. You can choose self-hate, self-attack, self-torment. You can choose self-love, self-power. It's up to you. It really is. And I know it's a bit of up and down and in and out and whatnot, but you know, stamina, consistency, Focus. Yeah. Just think of it as an SAS mission. Okay? Everything will be all right.